Hey guys, welcome to Formation. My name's Luke Hester, and I'm joined with.
I'm Jake Fediplace.
We're going to talk about entrepreneurship. Now, of course, we're seniors here at Hargrave. I'm the XO of Alpha Company. He's the Battalion S1. We both want to get pretty introduced or go into the work field in the future, but I think Fediplace has a pretty good start on entrepreneurship. I think he should share it with you a little bit.
Yeah, of course. So my entire life, ever since I was a little kid, I've always been driven to creating my own products or services, and then in exchange, providing them to other people or clients in exchange for a monetary currency, the US dollar. And I've been really striving. Like the first thing I would do is like rainbow looms. That was a thing where you make your own bracelets and you go house to house, and I would just go house to house, door to door, and I would sell
those things. Rainbow looms. And remember the little rubber bands that had like the shapes of animals or like, I love those. Yeah, me and my sister used to do rainbow looms all the time.
Yeah, rainbow looms was a hot thing back when we were like in third, fourth grade. That was something I would do door to door all the time. Then it didn't make too much money. I would start doing landscaping throughout the neighborhood. So I would do that for a little while throughout the years. I would also, at my old school, I would like hustle snacks. I would like buy a bunch of snacks from a store and then bring them to school and sell them during lunch and all that. That was just a big thing I would do when I was a little kid. So my sophomore year was where I really hit it off. I got into car detailing. I named my first company Suds and Shine. It wasn't LLC or nothing, none of that nature. But I was able to convince my mom to drive me to the AutoZone car store, bought a bunch of car detailing supplies. I started marketing. I made my first flyer. I soon went on my school iPad at the time. I went to Nextdoor, made some Nextdoor ads in the community. I got some of my first clients. My first client was this really old lady. I detailed her car for like $35, and like it took me like 6 hours, and she was just like blown away. She loved it.
I'm not too crazy entrepreneur. I just kind of worked with my dad when I was younger.
Yeah.
Just like many other famous people who have been successful, my dad thought it was a good idea for me to sit next to him while he was doing work, and so that's what I did when I was younger. Anytime we had a major bid going on, I would be there to see what he was doing, see his little moments of where I could tell he just wanted to like say, I'm done, but him being the man he was, pushing through, which I think entrepreneurship, especially when times are going rough, I think you really got to push through. You probably had a couple of those times, right?
Exactly, yes. And that's what I really want to talk about tonight is the grit mentality you have to have when you are an entrepreneur and how much stuff you got to put up with. You not only got to, sometimes you'll get sued. Sometimes you got to put up with people who are very annoying.
By the way, have you been sued before?
I have never been sued, no. But I deal with angry customers before. You know, people weren't satisfied. Sometimes that's fine. You return a favor back to them. You make it up to them essentially.
I actually want to know, how do you make it up to them? Give us a situation.
Great example. So I had this one client, and it was this one sedan that we were just done detailing, and we gave it back to them, charged $75. Wasn't very happy with the dashboard. We kind of were in a rush. My parents wanted me to come back home. We didn't have much time to do it. And I get a text back from him saying, I need my money back. It was like, not the best quality. And so next day I biked over to his house and gave him his money back. He was a lot nicer in person. It was very, I said I was sorry. He said, hey, I think you're doing still a great job. I know you were in a rush the other day and you couldn't do the job to your normal best ability. So he let me keep some of the money, and I still did work for him in the future. And that problem was fixed pretty fast. I think the one thing people have to realize with customer service is it takes one bad damage, like one damage to your reputation isn't like over for your reputation, but you do have to work to fix it.
And by you saying that you still work for him, it shows that even though you messed up that one time, you still built a great connection, which I've learned from my dad, the 3 C's: communication, coordination, cooperation, and that's 3 things you need to learn in your life about entrepreneurship, and you showed that with that. But I do agree. I help my family manage a couple of houses they have, and so once in a while, you always want to have those grumpy guys who are just like Debbie Downers. You get all these 5 stars, and then you have this one where it's just like they wrote us up for having like a rusty nail on a beachfront property poking up a little bit, because you know how hard it is to manage a beachfront property where the salty wind and all that is starting to pull up everything. So it was just the minor details that they were nitpicking to make us like look bad. But we've had so many good reviews off of our beach house. We actually just thankfully renovated it to where now we can have a income for the future generations. So when my parents end up retiring, and then I'll end up inheriting a house, and it's going to be generational income.
Yeah.
So things like that. I'm taking entrepreneurship with Mr. Phillips here actually at Hargrave. Really good teacher. He's been teaching about how assets are the key thing for having a passive income, which I think since we're only students, we don't have passive income yet. But one day I want to be able to have my own passive income like my parents, or maybe your parents, or a lot of parents here at Hargrave. Things like that are especially key to be taught in school, especially here at Hargrave, because a lot of other, like, have you ever been taught entrepreneurship at like a public school?
Unless you were in a program like DECA or a business program or business class, you usually were never taught business or any entrepreneurship in those classes.
And he showed us, like, we played this game a couple of days ago. It was called the Rat Race.
Yeah.
It was a very fun game.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah. A really fun game. It's quite expensive, I learned, but it's super fun. I actually enjoyed it. It reminded me of Monopoly a little bit. It taught you that you're supposed to invest early in the stocks, and then when you accumulate more money, then you can go for maybe real estate or start your own business. Because at the end of the day, who do you want to be your boss more than yourself? Like, I, as a XO, learned that I never really liked anyone, like, not in a bad way, telling me what to do. It felt like some of the ways they wanted to, like, convey their ideas to me, you just sat there and were like, this doesn't make sense. I can probably work through this to get a better result. Doesn't
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That makes total sense. And to bring amazing point back to Hester, when he was talking earlier about customers being upset over minute details, that's a fact of life. People are going to be upset at you pretty much about anything. I mean, you could try to be a perfect person. You're going to upset someone. It's just a matter of life. The way you carry out your expressions towards them, and the way you can sort of prove to them that maybe I made a mistake and I'll fix it right with you.
I think I do agree with that a lot. Hargrave does, with the challenges that it throws at you being a military school and being away from your family, and some people having, like, leadership. We see every single like their variety of why people come here. The number one thing I've learned here is dealing with difficult people, because when you're in leadership, you always have those people who say the but, if, and whys. And it teaches you how to respond correctly, humble yourself down, put them into, or yourself into their shoes, and dealing with difficult people is an everyday thing, especially in the workplace.
Yeah, exactly. That's why Hargrave is so amazing, especially if you're in leadership. You do have to deal with difficult people every day, like Hester said. But ultimately, it does humble you. And you come to realize that if people are asking questions, well, you probably already figured out the answer and you're probably already solving. You're 2 steps ahead all the time. You have to be, in a sense. So he brought up a good point about that.
Yeah, you got to kind of put yourself in the worker's shoes too when you're trying to guide your guys who are like below you, because certain situations, maybe like, say we have a bunch of teachers here, like, congratulations to the Perkins for having their child, and then you have a ton of people leaving for maternal leave, you have people leaving for hospital injuries. You have to be able to, like, function and be able to maintain a strong understanding of how we need to follow through with the task at hand, even with our lack of people. It's like,
absolutely.
I feel like you can take that even to like a sports stance. You can have a crazy offensive line at the beginning of the year, and then all of it can fall apart. But with the cards you're dealt, you can still handle it at the best you are given. Like,
absolutely. There's some situations in life you just have to figure out how to handle it the best way possible, even though it might not be fair all the time. Nothing in life is going to be fair, by the way. Spoiler alert. Just figure out that you can honestly. Here's what I've learned too. You can increase your chances at luck easily. Lunk. Yeah.
What is that? Lunk.
I don't even know what lunk is. Luck. You can increase your chances of success in life as well. It's all about putting in effort, putting in consistency and time. Consistency is huge. What do you agree? Do you agree with that or disagree?
I do agree. And to get on to a little bit of another topic about entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
I think it's also about your presentation of yourself.
It is.
Like, even just sitting in a chair. we're taught at Hargrave how when we go into our boards, whether it be for jobs or sadly maybe some situations with Cadet Character Council, you always have to present yourself properly. Like say in a chair, you have to be able to sit up straight, present yourself. When you're making, say I'm trying to sell you $1,000, like a $1 million car. Let's go with that. I have to present myself to where you trust me and we have an understanding and a bond to where this will carry on for the future and hopefully is a returning buyer.
Yeah.
And my dad said, whenever you walk into a room, the way you dress, the way you walk, the way you talk is the main things that people look for to decide whether they want to talk to you and deal with you.
Absolutely. That is indeed right. That is called the halo effect. The halo effect, first impression is everything for most people. They can tell a lot about you based on your first impression. How are you dressed? How are you well fit? Or like, do you take care of your body? Do you not take care of your body? This means if he takes care of his body, is he going to take care of me as a potential client? Or is he not going to take care of me because he doesn't take care of his body? So there's a lot of things mentally, how they talk. Are they nice to me? Or do they pique in my interest? Like, how does that carry out? I agree.
And doing connections here, like networking is crazy. You can do it so much even at Hargrave because the amount of, we're doing a phone-a-thon coming up.
Exactly.
For, which is kind of training us. We're going to be calling up the past alumni for maybe some connections, donations, and so you can still network here. Say maybe Feta Place is on that phone call. You can be like, hey, I read in your description that you run a power washing landscaping company. I want to get in touch with you.
Yeah.
You can always find connections everywhere you go. Hargrave is a great place to find connections.
It is.
Our president went to Dartmouth and also worked at a couple other schools, and he's a genius. I bet you right now, if I walked up to him, he would give me connections and corrections on the spot about what I need to do and proceed. Our commandant brings in a guest speaker a ton. We had one this past Thursday. Phenomenal. He was a sergeant major in the military, and the connections here are very deep. And if you network yourself properly and you have those connections prior to leaving high school, it can help. And senators, like when you get in college, when you have a senator contacting you and you say you're from Hargrave Military Academy, they will respond to your email.
Absolutely.
And say, what I'm doing is I'm reaching out to a South Carolina senator because I want to get into Clemson. They will respond back to me and point me out on the application list. That's how it goes for a lot of things here. So the connections here you have are permanent, especially with your friends.
Absolutely.
And then learning it now is a good thing for the future because 100%. The faster you learn it here, the better you are off.
Yeah, that's, even though this is an all-male boarding school, I mean, school here is different. But there are just so many great people that work here, great faculty and staff. It is a military school, but like it's honestly more of a college board prep school as well. There's just different aspects of putting onto it, and it's just great connections, great people that work here. TAC officers really care about you, and that's what enables you to foster relationships with them.
We have many college ex-professors who work here and are top, I would say. Yeah, no, they do care about you because if you get behind, you will see how they will act. Those teachers will get on your butt to make sure you are prepared for life.
Exactly. And these teachers, unlike the public school system, they do care about you. And sure, there are consequences if you don't follow the rules. Yeah. But ultimately, they care for you. And it's coming from the bottom of their heart. They're trying to get you better.
I've never had a complaint with my teachers. My parents were talking to one of my friend's parents a couple days ago, and they talked about how, Luke had such a hard time with teachers at my old school. They hired English teachers for my science class.
Wow.
But they're like, we've never had a complaint about Hargrave teachers. We haven't had to talk to them about their teaching styles. For what you get and pay here, you get what you want. Yes. It is really firm, and everyone here is qualified to prepare you for your lifelong success.
They absolutely are. They absolutely are. Now, one thing that me and Hester have been talking, we've been talking about entrepreneurship, we've been talking about a lot of different things, but I told my testimony, Hester has his testimony. Now, it's different for the person to person. I don't think everyone has to go in entrepreneurship. I'm a very independent personality. I'm an INTJ. I am very independent.
Can you INTJ? What does that mean?
It's introverted. Like, I forgot the other aspects of what the acronym is. I'll look it up later.
Introverted. I don't know about that.
I'm like,
you're pretty outgoing.
Look it up. Look at what INTJ. You'll see what I mean. Elon Musk, I associate with him heavily as a personality type. Yeah, look it up. Look it up. 1.43% of the population, but
you just want to be the small one. That's what I'm here. He wants to be the special group with.
Okay, well, I took the test.
I mean, like,
y'all take it on 16personalities.com and tell me if I'm wrong, but I took it. But anyways, I found a lot out about myself, and I realized a lot of things started to connect. But the main thing is everyone has a different purpose in life, and the main thing I've learned is how do you find your purpose in life? Because ultimately, that's what's going to drive your success. That's what you chase in life. That's what your meaning in life is. So it's very important to chase your purpose.
I mean, I wish I could chase my purpose in life right now, but I'm kind of in a boot, so I can't run that far. But yeah, no, I'm just messing with you.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think there's other highlights about Hargrave, especially since me and you both work in a very designated part of South Hargrave.
Yeah.
I almost mentioned my old school. We work together as the chapel staff assistant and chapel staff CEO, and we both coordinate and execute maybe certain donations that go out to the town. We help our beautiful chaplain, Mr. Michael Washington, Chaplain Washington, to coordinate and get out the word of the Lord, and also give money to our town via maybe soup kitchens or money trees. What was it?
It's Angel Tree. So Angel Tree, yeah. Mm-hmm. So poor families from around the community who don't have, their parents don't have money to afford their kids Christmas gifts for Christmas. They basically write a note and it goes in the tree in their church. Hargrave will come pick up that note from Angel Tree, and we will go out to Walmart, buy that gift. A select people from the Corps will buy the gift, and they will actually come to Hargrave during Hanging of the Greens this December, and we will present the families with their gift.
And not just that, we do Samaritan's Purse, which is a very important. I've done that all my life. I know a ton of people who've done that around me. I have a ton of people who work for Samaritan's Purse in my family. We work very tightly with Samaritan's Purse.
Yes. Purse.
I'm
Purse.
Samaritan's
Purse. Yeah, you're good. No, Samaritan's.
I thought I was saying that wrong there for a second, but we work pretty tight with them.
Additionally, Operation Christmas Child. Yeah, Operation Christmas Child. Shoe boxes we will package up and deliver out to other neighboring countries.
I feel like most people know what that is, though.
Yes,
so
they do.
I don't want to assume, but
yeah,
I feel like that's mostly everywhere. So we work tightly with all those in community and out of community situations. But it really does teach us how to reach out and talk to others, again, with connections. It's everywhere we do it.
Yeah, connections is such an important aspect of life.
And to be able to do it in such a situation with our faith pillar here at Hargrave, like, we shed light on how good Hargrave cadets are.
Yeah.
And we work every single day to put forth our faith with Christ, and also the faith pillar that we've built here and still building. So it definitely is very impactful.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, we had a couple baptisms today, which was good. Mr. Washington's son, Chaplain's son,
Xavier,
just got baptized today.
Jackson.
Chap's birthday was yesterday, so shout out to Chap. His birthday. Hi, Mr. McGrail. We got a cool visit from one of the dads of Hargrave. He's always here. I love him. He's great. Did you see his son that he brought out for McGrail during the football games? I think isn't McGrail like 18?
Yeah.
You want to come?
Gentlemen.
Hello.
Whoa.
You're on the podcast.
Mr. Hester and Mr.
Fennerplace. Yes, sir.
How are we doing tonight, gents?
Good. What do you do for a living?
I am a Jontrepreneur.
Jontrepreneur, nice.
I do many things: self-employed electrician, master builder, carpenter, house builder, custom builder, designer, lighting designer, entertainer.
Entertainer?
Yes.
What does that?
And I'm funny. but looks aren't everything.
Oh my Lord. I'm gonna have Josh look at this later. When did you start off like working?
I started my first job at around 14.
14? Where's that at?
I was the arts and craft director of a public park.
That's cool.
I was the GIMP guy.
Oh.
I wove GIMP and played basketball. Good times.
Good times. You know how to, does Josh know how to,
Do GIMP?
whoa.
No.
No, he
He's
doesn't.
a good basketball player, though.
Tell him to join the team. Tell him to join the team.
Gotta run.
All right.
I have a Tigers game, so
All right.
gotta head along. Good to
Thank
see
you.
you.
Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, and good to see you, America. God bless America, and God bless Hargrave Military Academy for boys.
All right. You heard it from. Okay.
I love him.
Yeah,
he's like an icon here. He pops up out of nowhere some days and just does that.
He surprised me. I had no idea. He was just coming down the steps over here. He's like, "How's my favorite cadet?" I don't even know who he was talking to. It was great.
Oh my Lord.
They need a very ambitious.
Top three qualities of a.
Qualities. They got to be. One is the ambition.
We did talk about grit this past Thursday. And I'm not
Ambition.
like trying to feed into that too much, but I think ambition and grit.
Ambition, grit, and I'm gonna throw half patience in there as well. But ambition and
Patience
grit.
is key. young
Ambition, grit, and wisdom. And wisdom can be categorized with knowledge and experience. So I'm going to go ahead and throw wisdom, grit, and what was the other one? Wisdom, grit, and patience. No. Wisdom, grit. What was the other one? I named
I forget what you said.
Wisdom, grit, and patience. We're going to go with those three. Do you want to talk about that?
I want to say, since I see your list, I would probably say grit, confidence, and coordination or communicate. That's the same thing, basically. Communication.
Communication. It's crucial.
Because if you don't have the confidence to do anything, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then if you don't have the grit to carry it out, no one's going to see passion in you. And if you can't communicate properly, that's the main three things you need to start a business.
Yeah,
you can't talk to people like I'm talking to Mr. Bunker right here or that place. I can't really get anywhere.
Yeah. You really have to have willpower about everything you do. And you have to have a reason in your heart to do it. And then you have to have key principles. And maybe you don't have all of them, but maybe you have some of them. And they intertwine with each other. And you just have to push yourself. And you have to find, you can't do it alone. You're going to have a friend to do it, a brother to do it with you as well. Push you and motivate you.
Like a workout partner. You need someone to be there to make sure when you fall short, they can pick up the dumbbell or the, don't say the dumbbell, well, the bar.
One of my best friends, Tyler Northup, is one of my bros. He's very ambitious with me. We were constantly doing little side things. We were always working, motivating each other.
You need someone who said, when you say I can't do it, to say you can do it. We can work through this together. Because if you don't have someone like that in life, you're missing out. Because if you always limit yourself, that's just you doing it to yourself. That's how you're going to fall short.
Absolutely.
Putting limitations on yourself is the only part of what is going to limit you.
Absolutely.
You have someone, or if you have the mentality that there is no limit, and that someone's telling you that you are limitless, then you can push the boundaries of what other people think.
How big would you dream if you knew your dream wouldn't fail?
I mean, it's always going to fail if you never try.
Your passion drives.
What pains me, I read a very impactful book. It was called by Malcolm Gladwell, Big Fish in a Big Pond. It was a site out of David and Goliath, I'm pretty sure. We read it in Miss Pugh's class, and it talked about how she struggled. I mean, she was amazing during high school, but when she had a passion for something and she went to college and she started going down and saw that everyone else was still being able to function, but she wasn't, she was focusing on other people more than herself. And that really pulled her down. And so she began to stop falling in love with what she was doing. And that's one of my fears when I get into college. I don't want to get into a situation where I want to pursue what I feel like as if you work I live by the quote of, if you work, do what you love for work, you never feel like you're working a day in your life.
Yeah.
If I fall out of love and I still do that work, I don't know if I'm gonna have the passion anymore.
That brings back into the purpose and passion of like what that job or what you're doing is going to fulfill you in life.
Yeah.
How it's going to. Absolutely.
Trust in yourself more than anything. If you believe in yourself, at the end of the day, it's all that matters. If you don't have confidence, then you're gonna fall short with anything it is. If you project yourself onto other people that are below you and you can't do it properly, they're gonna pick and nitpick you every single bit. I think it is.
Yeah. I just be yourself, but also just be humble as well. Listen to others. Be courteous and kind, obedient and cheerful, thrifty and brave, clean and reverent. Anyways.
I have one last word.
Yeah.
Stay humble. People love humble leaders. If you can't be humble in the workspace, no one can follow.
Don't talk about yourself. Stay humble. Be consistent with your business. If you're gonna make a business, you got to be consistent. You got to have drive and willpower for it. You got to have a purpose for it as well. And I think we had a great discussion tonight.
Yeah. All right. Well, peace.
Sometimes.
See ya.